Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. From the title itself, you must have come to know what this video is about to be, what this video is about. So, without wasting any time, I would like to clear the air and say that this is not going to be a movie review. If you want to see the movie review, you will find it on my second channel. The link is in the description below. Go check it out. Like I said, this is not a movie review, but still, I'll be talking about Animal and I'll be dissecting Ranbir Kapoor's character, Ranvijay Singh Balbir. I will be talking about a few points. Sandeep Reddy Vanga so far has only made 3 films and all his characters are flawed. But what intrigues me when I watch those films is the world building, how he builds the world, how he puts those characters in there. Now, whether you take Arjun Reddy or Kabir Singh or even Ranvijay Singh Balbir from Animal, you will see that these characters are flawed, they have their fallacies, whatever they do can be considered as toxic, misogynist, narcissistic, everything. So let's understand the psychology behind these kind of men. Okay. Before I do that, I would like to put this as a disclaimer that just like my review, even this will have certain spoilers. So kindly tread carefully. Also, if you found the movie to be a little bit offensive and you might have got offended by it, uh, then please see this video till the end. You will understand my POV and you will understand where I'm coming from, and it might help you to not give so much hate to that movie. Okay. So this was just the intro. Let's just jump into it. Okay. The first point I would like to talk about is understanding men. Men in general lack emotional stability. We may overpower you in when it comes to physicality or mentally, but emotionally we are all weak, and it can be because of many external or internal factors, events, circumstances that we have seen or that may have happened around us or with us. What we lack is not just emotional capability or emotional strength. What we lack is the way to express it. Men in general are less submissive when it comes to expressing or displaying their emotions, and that I think is a big problem. uh, let's understand the two spectrums or two polarities of men. One side is the most extreme side, that is the most toxic, misogynist, narcissistic, strong, powerful uh, kind of a personality. This personality by default will have characters like lying, cheating, deceit, indulging in debauchery, and all such kind of things. Okay, maybe even infidelity for that matter. And then you have the other spectrum, that is the other end, wherein men are perceived to be too loving, too caring, weak, pathetic, fragile, puny, uh, and maybe even prone to being cheated on. The problem is when men cannot choose which side of the spectrum they belong to, and that is where they get stuck. They either are on the right side or on the left. What they need to understand is the balance that they need to create between these two spectrums. And I would like to explain this using Ramayana. If you go to see Ravan, he lies on the left end of the spectrum. He's toxic. He's a torchbearer of toxicity. He indulges in debauchery, has by default so many several vices that we cannot even count. And on the very same hand, we have King Dashrath, who is weak, who is pathetic, and who is helpless, who is fragile. But there is one such character who knows how to maintain that balance of both these polarities, and that is Lord Ram. Sri Ram knew how to be righteous, he knew how to be loyal, he knows how to be humble. He that is why we call him as Maryada Purushottam, right? It is not like he wasn't weak or he was toxic. It is not about all those things. He was way beyond that. He knew how to be a man. He knew how to be righteous. He knew how to be loyal. He knew how to be humble. He knew how to be honest. He was smart enough to understand the difference between these two spectrums. And he also knew why there was supposed to be a balance. And that is why he is the balance that we all should keep in mind whenever we are talking about men. As a man, I know it is very difficult for me to imbibe the qualities and personality of Lord Ram, but it is my duty to at least try not to become like Ravan or like King Dasharath. Moving on to the second point is something that is the crux of this film, that is the father son dynamics. This is what the movie was sold to us on. This is the topic that they had chosen. Now, the father son dynamics, I think, is one of the most messed up bonds that we have seen, especially in our Indian households. Even to understand this point, I think we should have two ends of these spectrums, like I discussed in the previous point. On the left end, you will find those patriarchal households wherein the children are not are oppressed. They are not allowed to do anything. Even women in such situations are not allowed to do anything. They are stopped or they are banned from doing stuff. And you will find some abuse or violence in this kind of household. Uh, we have seen this around us, maybe in some household, in some neighbor, with some colleague or with some friend, and maybe even in movies, like for instance in Two States or in Udaan, we have seen such kind of a scenario wherein the father figure in general is very much strong, and the son has to overcome that. He has to overpower that, and he has to step up. Uh, I think these kind of households will definitely create children who will have mental issues, will be scarred for life because of such incidents that they have seen. Even though they might step up and become confident and they might move out of all those things, but somewhere in their mind they will be scarred for life because of what they have seen. The Gen Zs and millennials, they have coined a word called a term called daddy issues, and I think these people are very much qualified to be a part of it. On the right side of the spectrum, again, if we have to discuss with respect to the father-son dynamics, if the father is very weak, he is puny, he is not that strong enough, then he will be looked down upon, he will be disrespected. And when the son is growing up, he sees that his father is not being treated properly. What it does is he will end up becoming a toxic figure. Will end up becoming a toxic masculine figure at the end of the day, and he will do everything that his father could not do because he see what has happened to his father because his father wasn't strong enough to conquer those problems in his life. This we have seen in movies like Agneepath or maybe even in Haider or Gully Boy to some extent. The complexities of such situations is something that I feel is more challenging than that Sas Bahu relation that we see nowadays, because in case of a father son dynamics, there is a blood relation involved. Okay, and I think that is justification, that is a justification for why that relation is so challenging. Although there is one more segment wherein this film also delves in, is that the absence or absolute radio silence of a father in a son's life. Let's just assume that you live in a household where your father is either working too much and he's not giving you the attention or the time required, or let's just say you belong to a family that has been broken. There is some kind of separation or divorce or a demise for that matter. So, as you're growing up, you don't understand the need or the requirement for a father. When you are young, obviously, you have that kind of notion that everyone has a father, everyone has a mother, that is how a family looks like. But at the end of the day, when you grow up and you reach a certain stage, you realize that there is no necessity or need for that right now. And that is the day you move past that. So these people necessarily don't have that daddy issues or something like that. They just have a void, an absence of a father in their life, and that is it. And once they grow up, they even move past that. They don't even have any kind of regret or remorse that, oh, I didn't have a father in my life, oh my god, nothing like of that sort. They just move past that. And that I think is supposedly more healthy than the other relations that I've spoken about right now, the other spectrums of having a father. This I think is one of the most easy households that you can like create and live in. Okay. Now we will move on to the third point. Before starting the third point, we have to understand that in the initial stages of the film, you see how Ranbir Kapoor's character uh, talks or presents a difference between what is an alpha male and what is a beta male. But what he presents, the categorization that he gives is a little flawed. So the third point has to be the alpha male fallacy. Nowadays we see so much people talking about the red pill, blue pill, the alpha male, beta male, sigma male, and all that stuff. Like Andrew Tate has been a torchbearer for it. Ranbir Kapoor's character is nothing but a hairy Andrew Tate on steroids. That's all. If I have to understand what an alpha male is, what are his traits, I have made a separate video on a character called Harvey Specter from Suits. You can check that out in the iCard above. But just to be on the safe side, I'll make you understand what an alpha male should be like. I'll give you a basic example or a basic outline of how an alpha male looks like. Just imagine that you are in a situation wherein you are with someone you love and you guys are in a danger situation. Your first instinct naturally will be to protect, because that is what a man or a normal human being will do. Even animals will do that. Protect you and your loved ones. That is what our basic biological structure is. Whenever something like that comes, our instincts are to protect. That's it. To protect and provide. That's all we have to do. What happens next, whether it is whether it is in sync with the legalities of law or whether it is questionable in the court of law, that depends entirely on the event and the situation you are stuck in. What Ranveer's character does is questionable. Okay, it's questionable, but since he is able to do that because that he has unlimited resources, like he has unlimited money, he's filthy rich, he has guns, he has cars, he has planes, he has people whom he can rely on. This is not an alpha male tendency according to me. His character is not an alpha male. Because an alpha male personality or an alpha male trait will know when to stop and how to stop. He knows the limitations and where to put it. And that I think is very much important. Whenever we talk about such flawed characters, the thing is they take it one step further. But as an alpha male, it is your duty to understand how the society will look upon it as well. For just one event, you cannot go on killing people, you cannot go on destroying stuff, but you have to handle it with your own, you have to handle it intellectually, you have to handle it as a man. How will you do it? That is what an alpha male trait technically deals with. Beta male is the one that we spoke about, the one that is weak, the one that is fragile, the one that has no idea what the world looks like and will be disrespected, will be looked down upon, all that stuff. A sigma male, although if I have to put it in picture, if I have to explain it, then it is nothing but an alpha male with lack of social skills and maybe a little bit of isolation problems. That's all. So if there is a situation, I would rather choose and adapt an alpha male personality. Let's just say if push comes to shove, unarguably, without any hesitation, without any doubt, we need an alpha male to come into the picture and take control. How he does is, what he does is, we don't know and we should not be bothered about it. And this brings me to the end of the video, wherein I would like to tell you guys that after all, this is a movie. These are characters that they have played. We should not take inspiration from that. It is our duty to consider this as characters and have some kind of self introspection and contemplation at the end of the day, so that we can categorize things under the umbrella of what is good and what is wrong, what is good and what is bad, what is right and what is wrong. We should be able to categorize that. That is what we have been given brains for. Go and watch those films, enjoy it, but at the end of the day, consider them as films. Consider them as a display of someone's imagination. Okay, nothing more than that, and stop spreading hate around it. After all, it's a movie. Take it like that. That's it. That's it from my end, guys. I know I haven't made any videos on this channel because I was working on the second channel for such a long time. You can check that out. Link is in the description, and that's it, guys. I will meet you in the next video. Till then, bye.